Fáilte go Chris seminar a cumneachta Uist tua, a mi tóchas go cósta na Cèilidh. Tá sin tollaide go bhfuil tóir duine galpast. Welcome to this third and final seminar on behalf of Cumneachta Uist tua. We hope you enjoy this session with us, and we're just delighted that so many people have taken part. Thank you. The next part is I'd like you to introduce you to Aurora Moxon. Aurora has been in placement with us through COVID and has been a great help. She will talk about the craft gallery and the writing workshop, and all contributions to the writing workshop will be in the archive. But meanwhile, I'd just like to introduce Aurora Moxon.
I'm Aurora, and firstly, I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight. I'm actually going to be travelling up to North Uist while this event is on. But firstly, I wanted to say a big thank you to those of you who sent in pictures of your crafting, making art to CEUT. It was really interesting to see the different ways people have got creative over the various lockdowns. I think we had painting, knitting, cooking, music, photography, embroidery, and I think wood carving as well. So it was really, really interesting to see all of those. I think the project, or this project as a whole, is a great response to the couple of years that we've had, really difficult years. And for me personally, being able to get involved with CEUT at a time I was doing my PhD, I was already feeling quite isolated. So being able to get involved, even the weekly meetings, made me feel much more connected to something outside of what was going on. And it was really fascinating, quite important to see how CEUT was responding to the pandemic, trying to find new ways, thinking outside the box to keep doing their work, but also in a way that was important and was engaged with people in the local community. And yeah, I think for me, having the freedom to run the writing competition, so I had an idea. I was also trying to think outside the box of ways to get people involved. I think it was around last November, December, I had the idea because I thought this is a time when people are possibly going to be struggling the most around Christmas and the New Year. And it was amazing to get all the responses that we did, all of the submissions. I think a writing competition is a really great way to get people thinking, generating new material and engaging with, I mean, the theme was sites on North Uist, so I think it worked really well as a way of getting people sort of thinking, writing about North Uist. So we basically ended up with, I can't actually remember the number now, but so many poems and stories about North Uist that didn't exist before, so that was brilliant. And I was really pleased to hear that the competition's running again this year. So I think that's everything from me, but yeah, I'm really excited to see the end result of this virtual exhibition.
Right, this next session shows you the variety of skills that our volunteers and members have brought to their lives during COVID. We would be identifying everybody in this session, but everybody will be identified in the virtual exhibition. Some are already identified on the screen. Next slide. This is needs no introduction, but this is one of our more expert knitters showing what she's been doing in COVID and having a chat on the doorstep. Next slide. The samples are from an expert knitter who obviously takes part in competitions, and this shows a degree of talent, an amazing talent and skill Next slide. Again, from the same knitter, a wonderful example of a stole, which is very fine and there's such intricate and delicate detail. Takes a lot of time to do. Next slide, please. Apart from doing things for ourselves, many people use their skills in growing things to then make a donation to a neighbour. And this shows just how the community thinks of others, the kindness of neighbours. Next slide, please. And whatever else was happening in COVID, babies were being born and some needing extra special care. So the next two slides show you very small baby hats, knitted and crocheted for neonatal babies. Next slide, please. And these are the crocheted hats. Beautiful, colourful. Thank you. Next slide. Again, thinking of the tiny members of our families. This is a pram blanket, crochet pram blanket for a baby. Next slide. Again, this shows a level of skill to make a reversible face mask in a variety of colours, and this became part of all our lives during COVID. Next slide. Again, particularly where we live, quite skilled out in knitting and crocheted a head warmers, head and ear warmers, very helpful in this weather. Next slide. This shows another level of skill in terms of wood carving, and takes a lot of time to do. So somebody obviously used their time very well carving this lovely wooden heart. Next slide. For people who do not like cakes, this was a very inventive alternative and creative as well, using a watermelon. Next slide. And some of us wrote lovely poems, and others, and that's a skill of creative writing, and others moved by these words composed music, and the skill of composition, and then the skill of piano playing or music playing. Next slide. Now this is a letter from our local minister who thanks neighbours for actually donating offers of baking during the COVID time, which prompted him to have a go himself at a baking, which he doesn't seem to think was totally successful, but it made him appreciate far more the skill of others in the baking department. Next slide, please. Taking other aspects of using our time, jigsaws revived, and this was a 1,500 piece jigsaw, which looks quite intricate, and produced a great sense of triumph and completion. Next slide. And this is Leo, the handsome greyhound with little Morven, modelling. Next slide, please. And this is what he was modelling, a greyhound hoodie snood. Who knew there was such a thing? But we have to remember the animals in our lives as well. Next slide. Thinking of little people in our family, a selection of jackets just needing to be completed, awaiting buttons. Next slide. We all wear socks, so this is a selection of different socks in a variety of self or variegated colours, which this person sells for charity or gives away. Next slide. Having seen the reversible face masks in an early slide, then this is an example of a skill that maybe wasn't continued. Stick to knitting was the lesson this person learned. Next slide. And this is another modeler. This is one of our two Peters in the next two slides, modeling an Adam jumper, which she seemed to think was quite successful. Next slide. And this is another Peter who is using his skills to make a mouth-watering red pepper soup. I'm sure it tastes delicious. Next slide. A teacher daughter enjoyed her watercolour classes, socially distant and in shifts, and it certainly looks as though she has a skill in watercolours. Next slide. And this beautiful painting of Purslane and Cubby and Anne's Wood, which just is so serene and just beautiful, and must have given the painter great satisfaction to do. Next slide. And a series of sketches and paintings. Style, obviously using things that are just on our doorstep. Next slide. Looking over the hayfield, a scene familiar to us all, and again, probably from the painter's own house. Next slide. And a lovely, probably a pencil drawing or charcoal drawing of the goat shed, and showing another level of skill by this painter, this artist. Next slide. And again, something entirely different in terms of the materials used. It's a very beautiful scene. Obviously, this volunteer actually used a previous skill or a skill she just learned, but to great effect. Next slide, please. And the skill of photography is another one which maybe came into its own during COVID, and this is a particularly beautiful photograph on the Macher of an August wedding on Clapham Sands. Next slide. And isn't this a one of great hope and joy? Look, I really am a graffiti angel. A little girl just looking so happy and joyous. Next slide. And this is something we all became familiar with during COVID, our lateral flow tests, and the relief when the result was negative. Next slide. This is embroidery. I always turn to embroidery in the winter months, but during COVID, choosing my wools and silks was a great distraction. And are these lovely Uist colours that she's chosen there. Next slide. And doing things for others, children, babies. This is a mother deciding to tackle a balaclava for her daughter. She also worked on butter and soft cheese making, but these were consumed before the pictures could be taken. This looks lovely and cozy. Next slide, please. And this again is a picture I think is so joyous, showing Effie Ann with her completed socks on a line. She also does socks for an American in New York who comes over every year for his box of socks. Next slide, please. And thanks to everyone who contributed so far. The gallery is now officially open. Commonwealth Uist is full of admiration for your talents. You cover such a variety of unique, expressive art. Special thanks to Dr. Ian Oliver for all his help in managing us and boosting our lamentable technical skills. And I think you will see from that selection of contributions that we have a great source of skill and artistic talent and photographic talent and musical talent in this community. Thank you.
I think it's over to you, Alan, if you're there. Alan? Maybe we'd better just go straight on then, Anna.
Okay.
And perhaps Anna.
Okay, so we heard some great music in our first webinar from our young people. We're going to have a listen now to some material that was sent into our Cèilidh room archive. The first is from James Bold. James is Cathy Ling's grandson, and I'm sure on many of his trips to North Uist was inspired to pick up the flute by Lauriana's whistleplaying. James studied in Plockton in the National Centre of Excellence in Traditional Music and is currently studying in Glasgow, I think. He sent in a wee bit of text to accompany his clip, so I'm going to read that out just now. My track, Last Train to Plockton, is specifically about chasing a train to Garve after missing it in Dingwall. I've grown up in various places around the Highlands and the public transport isn't great. At the end of a weekend at home, there were 1 to 2 trains a day to get back to the music school at Plockton, depending on the time of year. This is a contrast now, living and studying in Glasgow. Although I have some other music projects on the go, working on releasing an EP of my own compositions gave me a goal and something to work on during the pandemic. People needed entertainment when locked inside for months, and I hope I contributed to that, giving people something to listen to and enjoying the situation as much as we could. My hope looking forward is that people will place a little more value on the creative industries. I think this year has proven how important they are for enjoyment and social interaction. So this first piece is James's Last Train to Plockton. stuff. Yeah, it was really nice. Thanks for sending that in, James. We're gonna hear now from the Lua group, the walking song group, who are based in North Uist. This was sent in by Margaret Bennett, excuse me, who has in previous years, I think, worked with the Lua group. And in this, we're going to hear some songs which are led by Cathy Lang. Yeah, we're going to hear next from Ciùird Gaelic Uist. The song that they're going to sing was a poem that was written by Reverend John Smith, by Mr. Smith, and he wrote it for or about Dulrú Charúna. The poem is set to music and arranged for the choir by Peter Cooper, and in this we'll hear Joanna Peterana singing the solo, so hope you enjoy it.
Vai
Fabulous. That was lovely. Our last clip comes from Anna Wendy Stevenson and Simon Bradley. Anna Wendy is the programme leader for UHI's BA in Applied Music based in Mumbai. And Simon is the programme leader for their UHI's MA Music and the Environment. Before they play us out, we'd just like to thank everybody who sent material in, everybody who contributed. Taigh fód agus seo acu Simon agus Anna Wendy.
I'm Anna Wendy.
I'm Simon.
And we're coming to you from Ballashare in North Uist, and we're going to play some jigs. The first couple are ones that I wrote. The first one is the Trip to Loch Skippert, the place with the ponies in South Uist. And then we'll follow that with a tune I wrote for my goddaughter. It's called Nuala Ionas. And then we'll finish up with a pipe jig, the classic from South Uist, the Skylark's Ascension by Archibald Lindsay.